It's me, Jordan Long, and today I'm gonna talk about, well, alright. So, there's always going to be someone out there that always, thinks that this is what you say and what you should not say. Now, when it comes to some folks, there's what they're alright with being called, I guess, or what they see themselves as. Now, keep in mind here, I am Eastern or Far Eastern, since Asian is a borrowed word, most likely a Greek or a Latin borrowed word. And a lot of folks say, and we all know that Oriental is a borrowed word. It is most likely a Latin borrowed word or a Greek borrowed word. Or most likely a French borrowed word. Well, it's a borrowed word. Anyway, and a lot of folks say you should not say that, or that's wrong to say that. Well, first off, it doesn't belong to the English speech, so it shouldn't be said anyway. Two, it would be Eastern or Far Eastern. And three, it never really seemed to be a hang up with anyone. Not that I know, and I happen to be one. See, I'm Far Eastern, and if you're Far Eastern, you have one way you can look. Well, there's many ways you can look at yourself, but you can't call yourself that, because that would mean you were the only one that lived on that land, and that's not true. Then maybe there was a time where that was true, but it's not true. You know, the Easterns and anyone who lives in the East is called as a Eastern. Even though you have the whites and you have the Arabs, and then you have you know and then you have the Hindus and the other white folks being the Eastern Israelis, the Eastern Turkish, and the Eastern Iranians. And then you have the Arabs, which their own group themselves, their own team themselves. So to so folks to and then you have the Far Easterns that a lot of folks say, oh, they're Eastern. Well, yeah, but then you could say that for anyone that lives in that on that land, in those sundriest lands in that land. But it never came up as a hang up. No one never said, "Oh, don't say Far Eastern. That's a wrong thing to say." Well, first off, Far East and Eastern are English words, and that's what I am. Yeah, well, I don't think you should be saying that. I don't think that's right. Yeah, well, it never came up as a hang up. Because I guess it didn't come up a hang up because I guess most folks see themselves as that, and it's not a big deal. And why am I even saying Eastern or Far Eastern? Because all the other words are borrowed. Asian and Asia, most likely that's either a Greek or Hellenic borrowed word, or a Latin borrowed word. One of the two is borrowed from those two speeches. And Oriental, that's a borrowed word too. I don't know if it's a French borrowed word, maybe it's a Greek or a Latin borrowed word. It's borrowed, so it would be the East, the Far East. Yeah, well, there's a Middle East, then there's a Far East, then there's a Northern East and a Southeast. So the Far East would be the East, or the Eastern East. Anyway, so yeah, it never came up. You know, you're probably thinking, well, Jordan, when you get your driver's sheet, yeah, my driver's deal, I always make sure to say Far Eastern when it says kind. And it's never seen to be a hang up with anyone. I don't ever think anyone saying, I don't really think you should put down Eastern or Far Eastern when you said kind. Well, that's what my kind is. And I know I belong to the sea. I know I belong to the Chinese, or whatever you want to say, that Latin borrowed word, that offshoot of the kind. But I don't think it's a hang up. No one's gonna get irked, mad, or wretched over that. Yeah, well, I really don't think you should say that. And well, the truth is, it never came up. No one ever said that to me. So it must not be some bad thing. It must not be some kind of put down or shame word, you know? And yes, there are a lot of words out there. Yeah, I guess some folks do see themselves as Eastern or Far Eastern, and I do too, since I happen to be one. But to say Eastern or Far Eastern is not a big deal. No one's going to get irked or mad over it. So when you're Far Eastern, you have at least three ways you can see yourself as. Even though some folks will say two out of three ways is wrong. But the truth is, Jordan says, the two words are borrowed. So be Far Eastern and Eastern. Well, actually, Far Eastern. Yeah. Since the other two words you could say are borrowed, but it's never came up as a hang up. No. No one never got irked, mad, or wretched over anyone saying, well, he or she's Far Eastern, or they're from, they're Eastern. And I don't think so. Unlike other folks out there where it might be a hang up for them. Well, at least not for the folks I've been around. So that's it for me. I just want to say, I want to thank my friend Mulan coming on. That's my middle name too. You know. So I hope you all like this film. Oh, and before I go, tomorrow I am going to talk about something that happened to me when I was younger. About how my middle name is Mulan. And since I had that middle name, I used to get bullied and picked on. But that's or at least made fun of. Well, that's a film for another day. I'm Jordan Long, and I'll see you later.